We're back with Five Guys in a Bible. It's certainly good to be back on here. And today we're being asked kind of a different question as to what, if you were on a desert island, besides the Bible, which all of us would say, besides the Bible, what two books would you take with you? So, we're going to start with Troy McGahan.
By the way, I want to give a shout out to Donna Constanzo. You're the only person that has ever complained about not being able to see my face. So here you go. See me? All right. Anyway, she knows what I'm talking about. I would say the two books that I love commentaries. I love history books. For one thing, for sure, it'd be a Strong's Concordance. So that way I could find different things in the Bible, be able to look up different words and so on like that. The Strong's is an incredible tool that every believer, in my opinion, needs so they can learn different verses and have just a little bit of knowledge about some of the different nuances in the Greek and Hebrew. And then I guess my second pick would be anything that Todd Bryant has wrote. No, I'm just kidding about that. I would say, I really like a lot of Ken Ham's books, and one book in particular that I like is Darwin's Plantation. And what it does is it documents how that Darwinism really and truly has been the one thing that has been taught in our public schools and in science as a whole that has really promoted racism. So anyway, that's my two. Of course, there's numerous others, but those are the two that really stand out.
All right, sounds good. All right, Jason Schultz, what are your two books?
Well, I just want to know where to find this desert island. It sounds like a nice place. I would say if it's made of peanut butter pie, there will not be an island for long if I'm there. I really had to think about this, and I'm sort of surprised with what I came up with. First off, I would take this book. Actually, I'm just kidding. This is the biggest book I had. It's a Webster's Unabridged Dictionary from the 70s I got from the library of my good friend Nick Woles after he passed away. But in seriousness, I was thinking if I had to choose two books, I thought about, The God Who's There by Francis Schaeffer or Knowing God by J.I. Packer. But I really think maybe Surviving on a Desert Island for Dummies would be a good choice. But ultimately, here's the two things I decided. Number one is Expository Thoughts on the Gospels by J.C. Ryle. He goes through each Gospels passage, gives some important background information, so essentially gives theological information and then gives some great practical thoughts on every passage. Really, he's simple, thought-provoking. I use him all the time for sermon preparation. Shh, don't tell anybody. I also have to admit that it's actually a 4-volume set, so technically it might be cheating. For the second book, I decided I would be practical and say that I would like a daily devotional. And the best one I could come up with is this old copy of Charles Spurgeon's Morning and Evening. Each page, it has a date. For example, I flip to it, June 4th. It says June 4th at the top, has morning over here, and evening devotion over there. So not only would it keep me focused, but it would also help me count the days until hopefully I get rescued. So that's it, unless it really is a desert island, in which case just leave me there.
All right, we're going to head up to Mark Campbell. Mark, what's your two books?
Well, you said I can't use John Gill because it's 9 volumes.
So, I would take, let's see, I would take eSword. No, that's in the computer program, so I can't take that. I would have to say Vine's Expository Dictionary of New Testament Words to go along with Troy's Strong's. I'd take Strong's first, but since Troy said that, I will take it. Or I can't take it. But I'm going to throw one off the wall at you. And I've just been sitting here kind of thinking and pondering the question. And I would take a book called The Road Unseen. And you say, what's that? What do you mean, The Road Unseen? Well, whenever I was first saved, someone suggested I pick this book up, or somehow I came across this book, and it talks about a man who walked across the country, and it talks about his experience, and it talks about his new experience of being born again, and some of the things that he went through, and the ways that he began to learn how to put the Lord first in his life, and different things like that. And the Lord really used that book to me as I began my journey of a discipleship. And the Lord used that to speak to my heart. And so I've gone back and read that book a few times since then, just kind of reaffirmed the Lord's call on my life and things like that. So I'd probably take that book. So that's just for me personally, just from my beginning of the walk. And then there's another book called If the World Fits You the Wrong Size. That's a pretty good little book too. But anyway, I've gone more than two, so I better be quiet.
All right, that means we're heading to Todd Bryant. Todd, what's your two?
Well, Troy sort of stole one of mine on anything I've written, so I'll try to backtrack. I've never written a book, though. I've written a few articles that have been fuel for the fire. But I'll probably cheat a little bit off of Jason's point. I'd take a devotional Bible, like a Bible through the year, and that would be my Bible. If I took it. If I'm going to be stuck on there by myself anyway, that would be the way to go. So maybe that's cheating. I don't know. I'd probably take Young's Concordance. I like it better. I know that's wrong, but I just do. I like the way it's set up. It's easier to use for me. And cheat like Jason did one more time on my second book. I'm going to take a series. I know, Mark, we told you couldn't do that. I would probably take A.T. Robertson's Word Pictures. I use that book probably as much as I do any other book, and that would be my book. So the Bible, A.T. Robertson's Word Pictures for sure, and Young's Concordance.
All right, I guess that leaves me. Well, of course, I'm going to take a Bible. The Bible I'm going to take, I think I'll probably take the MacArthur Study Bible. Probably the one that I take, because that way I get the commentary along with it. Absolutely, I'm taking the Strong's. And then as a third book, probably, let me look for it here, 3-volume set, Treasury of David, by Spurgeon. Looks like a lot of interesting reading to keep me up for the long hours. And if I had to take one secular book, I'd probably take War and Peace, because, I'd want something to take up a lot of time as well. So that'd be my other one I might choose along the way. But that pretty much sums it up. A survival handbook, though, would be very nice to have. Brother Mark?
The reason I said I'd take eSword, all those books you guys mentioned, is in eSword. So there you go.
Yeah, unfortunately the cell phone reception is usually kind of bad on deserted islands, desert islands.
It's on my computer.
Oh, well,
it's on my computer.
We can take our computer. That changes
my
everything.
desert island has electric.
Deserted islands are not known for their good internet access.
No, they're not. But you can run the battery off some coconuts and some bananas, evidently. So
I've seen it done.
Yeah, me too. The professor. All right, with that, we'll say goodnight.
Does anybody else think Todd looks like Gilligan?
Am I the skipper?
No.